Hi, this is Tim with NovaBackup, and today we will be doing a basic install of the NovaBackup CMon server on a Windows Server 2019 machine. Before we get started though, you will need a couple of things. First off, make sure that Microsoft SQL is already installed on the target machine. I will be using the full version of SQL 2019, but the information in the video applies to SQLite and other supported versions of Microsoft SQL. Second, you will need to have already downloaded a copy of the NovaBackup CMon program from the NovaBackup website, as we will be needing this later. Once these prerequisites are taken care of, it is time to start the configuration of the IIS. Open your Server Manager and go to Manage, and select Add Roles and Features. After hitting Next and Next again, select your destination server from the list and hit Next. In our case, there is only one machine available, but your environment may be different. Select the IIS from the list of server roles and hit Next. Click on the Add On Features button and then hit Next. As you can see, the server is already adding some dependencies this machine did not have. In this case, it's .NET 4.5. If additional packages are selected on this screen, go ahead and agree to these changes by hitting Next. Hit Next on the Web Server Role screen. The Select Role Services screen is one of the more important parts of the process. It is here where you will scroll down and find the Management Tools section and add IIS-6 Management Compatibility. Note that selecting IIS-6 Management Compatibility doesn't automatically select all of the packages underneath it. You will need to drill down and select all of them. Note that if you select a package with dependencies, it will ask you to accept those dependencies before making the selection. Once you have all of IIS-6 management items selected, go to the Application Development section and add .NET 3.5, .NET 4.7, ASP, ASP.NET 3.5, and ASP.NET 4.7. Finish up on this screen by selecting Management Service and hitting Next. Select Install in the next screen and your server role configuration is done. While these are installing, take this time to open your SQL Server Manager and get it ready for the CMon installation. Once it opens, connect with the database using Windows Authentication. Once it loads, right-click on the root object and go to Properties. Select Security on the right-hand side and choose SQL Server and Windows Authentication mode for the server authentication. In this case, it is already selected. Hit OK. Back on the left side again, expand the Security folder and go to Logins. Look for the SA user and make sure it is not disabled, and enable if needed. In this case, SA Server is already enabled. Click on the SA user and set it up with a password. Once the password is set, go to the server roles and make sure that Public and Sysadmin are checked off. Now click on Status and make sure that the SA user has login enabled, as this account is disabled in some versions of SQL by default. Go ahead and click OK. In order for all of these changes to take effect, go to File and select Disconnect Object Explorer. Once that finishes, select Connect Object Explorer. When the login screen comes up, select SQL Server Authentication and log in as the SA user with the password you just created. Your SQL Server is now configured. And now that IIS and SQL have been set up, it is time to move on to the CMon installation and configuration. Open up your setup-nb-cmon installer you previously downloaded and select Install. Select Next at the Management Server Setup screen and agree to the Terms and Services Agreement. We will be doing a default setup, so hit Next at the Custom Setup screen. Choose your SQL provider and hit Next. It is Microsoft SQL Server in our example. Make sure that the correct SQL database server instance is selected. In our case, it is the local database, so it is already correct. Under Authentication, select SQL Server and put in the correct password for the SA user. Leave the database name as Management Server and press Next. The next screen is looking for the Windows user that has permissions to the SQL database. In our case, this is going to be the administrator user. On the next screen, enter in the license information for your CMon server and activate your CMon software. From the Web Server Provider screen, choose Microsoft IIS and hit Next. On the IIS Web Application screen, leave the defaults in place and hit Next. Management Server configuration will allow you to set up a public server name. You can use a fully qualified domain name here or run as an IP address, which is what we are going to do in this example. The default port is 4502, but you can change this if you wish to do so. We will be leaving ours at default. Finally, hit Install and let the program finish. Once it is done, you can say OK, and your server installation is now complete. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you did, please hit like and subscribe on the YouTube buttons below. Thanks again, and we'll catch you in the next video.